Imagine waking up one morning, checking your bank account like you always do, and suddenly noticing something different. Your Social Security payment is higher, not by a few dollars, not by a small adjustment you barely feel, but by an amount that actually makes you stop, look again, and realize something important has changed. That moment is becoming real for millions of Americans in 2026. For months, people have been hearing all kinds of stories. Some were told benefits might not keep up with rising prices. Others worried that the system was becoming harder to depend on. Many retirees, SSI recipients, and SSDI beneficiaries were left feeling uncertain, wondering if their monthly income would ever truly match the financial pressure they face every day. Because let's be honest, life has become more expensive. Groceries cost more. Rent keeps climbing. Medical bills never seem to slow down. Utilities, gas, daily essentials, everything feels heavier than before. And for people living on fixed incomes, every dollar matters. That is why this new update is creating so much attention. Because this is not just another routine increase, this is being talked about as a permanent raise, a stronger foundation, a new payment amount that could continue supporting millions month after month, year after year. And that changes the conversation completely. This is about more than numbers on a screen. This is about peace of mind. It is about feeling like maybe, just maybe, the system is finally moving in a direction that helps people breathe a little easier. A little more room in the monthly budget can mean everything. It can mean less stress at the grocery store, more confidence paying bills, a little less fear when unexpected expenses show up. Right now, people across the country are starting to ask one big question. How much is the new payment amount? Who qualifies? And when will these changes fully take effect? That is exactly what we are breaking down today. Because if you receive Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, this information could directly impact your monthly income. And what you are about to learn may be one of the most important financial updates you hear this year. For a long time, people have been waiting for something real, waiting for a change that actually feels like progress, not just numbers that look good on paper, but don't make a difference in real life. And during that time, there has been a lot of noise, mixed messages, confusion everywhere. Some said increases were coming, others said don't expect much. And in between all of that, millions of people were left unsure about their future. Because when your income is fixed, uncertainty feels heavier. You start asking questions in your mind. Will this be enough next year? What happens if prices keep rising? How do I keep up when everything around me keeps getting more expensive? These are not small worries. These are real thoughts that people carry every single day. And that's why what's happening right now feels different. Because this time it's not just talk. This time the numbers are starting to change in a way people can actually feel. Payments are going up in a more noticeable way. Not tiny adjustments that disappear with the next grocery bill, but increases that give a sense of movement, a sense that something is finally shifting. And when that shift happens, even a little, it creates hope. Hope that maybe the system is responding. Hope that maybe all those years of waiting are starting to turn into something meaningful. Hope that the future might not feel as tight as it did before. But at the same time, many people are still unsure. They are hearing about changes, but they don't fully understand what it means for them. They don't know if they qualify. They don't know how much they should expect. And most importantly, they don't know if they are getting what they truly deserve. That's where clarity becomes powerful. Because once you understand what's really happening, everything changes. Right now, something important is unfolding, and many people don't even realize how big it truly is. They see a change in their payment, maybe a little higher than before, and they move on with their day. But what they don't see yet is the deeper meaning behind that increase. Because this is not just about a few extra dollars. This is about a shift that could reshape how your benefits grow over time. For years, increases felt small. They came and went, and most of the time they were quickly absorbed by rising costs. You gained a little, but then expenses took it right back. It felt like running forward without really moving ahead. And slowly that feeling turned into frustration. People started to feel like no matter what changed, it was never enough. But now, something different is happening. This time, the increase is being seen as a new starting point, a stronger base that your future payments can build on. And when your base grows, everything built on top of it grows too. That means future adjustments don't just add to the old amount, they grow from a higher level. And that is where the real impact begins, because over time, that difference becomes bigger and bigger, month after month, year after year. What starts as a noticeable increase today can turn into something truly meaningful in the future. That's how real financial change happens. Not all at once, but through steady, lasting growth. And for many people, this could be the moment where things finally begin to feel a little more stable, a little more predictable, a little more secure. But here's the truth that many are still missing. Not everyone is fully aware of what their new amount should be. Not everyone has checked their updated records. And not everyone realizes that small details can affect how much they receive. And when you don't know your numbers, you could be leaving money behind without even realizing it. There is a moment when everything starts to feel real. Not when you hear about a change, not when you read a headline, but when you begin to understand how it connects to your own life. That is the moment we are stepping into right now, because this is where numbers begin to matter. People everywhere are asking the same question: how much more? And the answers are starting to come in. For some, it is an extra $100. For others, it goes even higher. Month after month, that increase begins to show up, and slowly, it starts to change how things feel. Think about what that really means. An extra amount coming in every single month is not just money, it is relief. It is the difference between worrying and feeling a little more in control. It is the ability to handle small surprises without panic. It is the feeling that maybe things are not as tight as they used to be. And when you stretch that over a year, the picture becomes even more powerful. That monthly increase turns into thousands of extra dollars, money that stays with you, money that supports your daily life, money that gives you options, even if they are small ones. And sometimes small options can create big peace of mind. This is why people are paying attention now more than ever, because they are starting to see the impact in real terms, not just theory, not just projections, but real numbers that show up in real accounts. And once you see that, you cannot ignore it. But here is something important to understand. Not everyone is seeing the same increase at the same time. Some people are already noticing the change, others are still waiting. And that can create confusion, questions, even doubt. That is why understanding the timing, the details, and your own situation matters more right now than ever before. Now, here is where things become even more important because timing can change everything. Some people are already seeing the increase in their payments, and for them it feels real, it feels immediate, it feels like something has finally shifted. But for others, nothing looks different yet. The numbers seem the same, the deposits haven't changed, and that can create doubt. You might start wondering, did I miss something? Am I not eligible? Is this really happening, or is it just talk again? And those questions are completely natural because when change doesn't show up right away, it's easy to feel left behind. It's easy to think maybe this doesn't apply to you. But the truth is, not all updates happen at the same moment for everyone. Some increases roll out step by step. Some take time to reflect in the system. And in certain cases, adjustments happen behind the scenes before they finally appear in your account. That means what you see today might not be the full picture yet. And that is why paying attention right now is so powerful, because in some situations, people may actually be owed more than they are currently receiving. There could be updates still processing, corrections being made, or recalculations that have not fully reached your payment yet. And when those changes finally come through, they can show up not just as a higher monthly amount, but sometimes as a larger payment that includes what was missed before. Just imagine what that could mean. A sudden deposit that feels bigger than expected. A moment where you realize that something you thought was delayed was actually building up in the background. That kind of moment can bring both surprise and relief at the same time. But it all comes back to awareness, because the people who stay alert, who check their information, who understand what is happening are always in a stronger position to receive what they truly deserve. Now, let's talk about the reason behind all of this, because understanding the why makes the whole picture clearer. This didn't just happen by chance. It didn't appear overnight without a reason. There were forces building up for a long time, pushing things in this direction. Think about the past few years. Prices kept rising. Everyday life became more expensive. People started feeling the pressure more than ever before. And it wasn't just one group. Retirees felt it. Disabled individuals felt it. Families depending on fixed incomes felt it deeply. The gap between income and expenses kept getting wider, and that pressure could not be ignored forever. At the same time, voices were getting louder, people were speaking up, communities were raising concerns, advocacy groups were pushing for changes, and slowly that pressure began to reach the people who make decisions. It became clear that something had to change, not later, but now. And when enough pressure builds, action follows. That is exactly what we are seeing in 2026. A combination of rising costs, public demand, and policy adjustments has come together to create something different. Not a temporary fix, not a short-term solution, but a deeper adjustment that strengthens the foundation of benefits moving forward. And when you change the foundation, everything built on top becomes stronger. That is what makes this moment so important, because it shows that the system can respond. It shows that change is possible when the need becomes strong enough. And it reminds people that their voices, their experiences, and their struggles do matter. But at the same time, this is not the end of the story. Things are still evolving. More updates can come, more adjustments can happen. And that means staying aware is just as important as ever, because the more you understand what is happening, the more control you have over your own financial future. And now, this is the moment where everything comes together. Because knowing about the change is one thing, but knowing what to do with that information is what truly makes the difference. This is where awareness turns into action. Right now, there are people who are already benefiting, and there are people who should be, but don't even realize it yet. And the difference between the two is simple: information. Because when you take the time to check your records, when you look at your updated payments, when you understand how your benefits are calculated, you put yourself in a position of strength. You are no longer guessing. You are no longer waiting and hoping. You are taking control of what is yours. And that matters more than ever right now, because small details can create big outcomes. A missing record, an outdated earning history, or a simple delay can affect how much you receive. And if you don't look into it, you may never even know that something needs to be fixed. But the moment you decide to pay attention, everything starts to shift. You begin to see clearly. You begin to understand where you stand. And most importantly, you give yourself the chance to receive every dollar you have earned. This is not just about numbers. This is about your life, your effort, your years of work, and the future you are building day by day. Every payment carries a story behind it. Every increase represents progress that people have been waiting for. And right now, you are standing in the middle of that progress. This is your opportunity to stay informed, to stay ready, and to make sure you are not left behind while things are changing around you. Because when you combine the right information with the right action, you create something powerful, certainty, in a time where many people still feel unsure.